What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the NJCAA. We've got a match for you tonight between Guilford Technical Community College and Wake Technical Community College, and I'm joined for this awesome occasion by none other than Coach Jeb. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing well. Hey everyone. Guess you already said I'm Coach Jeb. I'm doing well. Finally a warm day here in PA for me to celebrate a little bit. So that's nice. But yeah, we're getting ready here to kick off in round one here, Titans and Wake Tech. So
Yeah, dude, I know exactly what you mean. It's been cold, like, even in Georgia. It's been like 15-degree days, which is absolutely ridiculous. And finally, we got a nice day for some League of Legends. It's going to be between two teams. Currently, we are in week number 3. For those of you guys that have not been following along super closely, this is the first week that streams, so you have a little bit of an excuse. But just so you guys know where we're at right now in terms of the standings, both of these teams are still looking for their first win 3 weeks in, so this is going to be a very, very impactful game for both these guys.
yeah, it's always exciting getting to see teams battle off like this, seeing who's going to get that first win, and looking at ranks a little bit. Hopefully, it's a pretty even match here between both sides as well. So
Yeah, I think it's about a Emerald Plat median in terms of solo queue ranked, which is about where I'm at. So I feel right at home with Wake Tech in the Titans here. But ooh, that is not something I was expecting to see in the pick order there. Xerath being picked in the mid lane, very, very long range champ, and I'm curious as to what Titans are going to go in response. Maybe something a little bit more divey, maybe. No, it looks like they're going to match range with range, but in my personal opinion, Jeb, I think that Xerath, at least in the short term, is going to be outlaning Syndra. Whenever I play Syndra, I groan every time I see a Xerath get locked on the other side, just because I know that he's going to have infinite mana. He's going to be poking me out a lane. And it's going to be really hard for me to scale unless I get some help.
yeah, I couldn't agree more there. Well, I feel like a lot of the time you'll see teams like this, going for that first win, and especially going into the first match, you see more safe picks, if that makes sense, trying to feel out the enemy team. So I definitely get the Xerath pick, being able to stay back, poke when needed, just take control of lane. But then I guess you do have Syndra too, if they're trying to get ganks on there with Jarvan, able to throw them off of you and play that safer side. But yeah, Xerath is not something I was expecting to see either. So
Yeah, same.
yeah.
Especially when you look at a lot of the other characters in both these teams' compositions. Very, very typical things you expect to see in the current meta, like J4, Cassante, Poppy, Caitlyn, Mordecai. I do believe it's gonna be Mordekaiser top and Poppy jungle, rather than the other way around. But yeah, a lot of characters like that. Not too surprised to be seeing that. Caitlyn and Karma. You typically see Caitlyn rather than Karma nowadays, but it's still a very great combination as well. And so, yeah, the Xerath is like the one thing that I don't typically see on a daily basis here. I gotta be honest.
Yeah, it's looks like we're actually getting into the draft phase here. So all that's happening here is they're just plugging in their bands, plugging in their picks, and hopefully that'll lead us into round one here with no issues.
Yeah, so you being a coach for one of these teams, seeing what we've got on the table here, just looking at what we have here, who do you think has the edge coming out of draft phase?
Well, it's always a gamble saying stuff before the match because champions alone, looking at them, you can definitely see what type of game plan they're going for, but it really does come down to individual skill when it comes to each of these champions. I see Poppy though. That's a pretty good pick, being able to stop the Jarvan lunge on them and anyone trying to engage. But yeah, I'd say it's a pretty safe picks from both sides, and somewhat balanced. I don't see anything right now that stands out crazy, but like I said, it all comes down to how well these individuals can play their champions. So
Yeah, for me, it's hard for me to give an out-and-out edge to either team because both these team comps check a lot of boxes. For both sides, you've got a lot of really good peel, you've got a lot of really good engage, you got a lot of good burst, you got a lot of good poke. Like, you got good poke in the form of the Kate, you got good poke in the form of the Xerath on the other team. You've got good engage from J4 and Cassante. You've got Mordekaiser who can take people to Brazil. You've got Cassante who can basically fulfill the exact same thing. You've got Poppy who can provide good disengage. You've got Janna that can provide very good disengage. So I feel like both these teams just check a lot of the same boxes, but I don't know. If I had to give like an out and out edge to either one of the teams, I would probably give it to left side here with Xerath, just because like they have a little bit better early game in my professional opinion, my semi-professional opinion. And yeah, just because they have the ability to throw their weight around in the early game a little bit, maybe get some feats of strength, some early objective gold going their way. I feel like that is going to be where they have to shine in the game. Whereas later on, you might be seeing Syndra be a little bit more of a late game menace.
Yeah, and that's something we can definitely see, especially with Mordekaiser going to late game. Just being able to take someone out of the fight is always something that's really impactful. But like I said, like early game, I'm probably going to agree with you here on the Xerath side. It's just I really feel like it comes down to their strength, on their champion. You can have a really good team comp, but if you just aren't flowing together, you're making bad decisions. Stuff can flop really easily for you. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one here. I'm excited, but yeah, I guess we're waiting. Oh, waiting on a delay here. I'm blind, but yeah.
Yes, indeed we are. But I mean, unless there's any other closing remarks that you have about whichever team you think is going to win, or any specific insights as to how you think they're going to play, we can probably throw it to a break, honestly.
Yeah, I think we're good to roll to break, and we'll come back in about a minute. So.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Summoner's Rift. We've got, once again, a match between Wake Tech, who is on the blue side, and Guilford Titans on the red side. We've talked a little bit about how these team comps do a lot of the same stuff. They're pretty evenly matched. It's just going to come down to a lot of execution in the early game versus execution in the late game. So, Jeb, in terms of just early set pieces and plays, what are you sort of expecting from the side of Wake Tech, since we've already agreed that the onus is on them to get something done in the early game?
Well, I was looking for something to get done here, but then again, I think back, this is first match. Everyone's on edge, shaking in their fingers a little bit. So I think it's just nothing's gonna happen here too early on. Just play safe, do your 5 point, group together here and red side a little bit here. But I don't think anything's gonna go down here too early. But yeah, I mean, it's League of Legends. Anything I say, the opposite will probably happen anyway. So, that's my luck, I guess, when it comes to League.
Right, and from what it looks like to me, the first sort of like bit of attention from the junglers is going to be towards the bot side, which for Jarvan it totally makes sense, totally get it. And Poppy's is probably anticipating this, starting the same side so that they can end their full clear down towards the bot side, and she can be there and give some assistance to this very, very aggressive bot lane. What they don't want to have happen is J4 come down there and just get this Draven a free kill. He gets a bunch of stacks, he gets really ahead. They're able to snowball some dragons and have Draven just be able to carry from like minute 10.
Yeah, that's a good plan there. I feel like that's something they're going to try to do. I believe J4's clear is a little bit quicker than Poppy's, so he might end up down there before Poppy arrives there for the counter gank, but Poppy might skip something, try to counteract for that lost time and prevent something from happening, but who knows? I mean, ganks early, they're always good. Obviously, every league player knows that, but everyone still is on edge, still trying to feel out the enemy team, so we may not see too much happen here in the early game.
Right, and to your point on J4's clear speed, he is a full camp ahead of Poppy in the race to the bot lane right now. Currently, things are starting to push towards Draven's tower, which does make the wraparound gank from J4 look very, very likely and easy to execute. Poppy won't be too far behind, especially if Caitlyn and Karma are able to play their lives well enough. But yeah, I'm sure that Centro here is probably calling out, hey, J4 is probably on this camp, he's probably on his last camp just about, and be ready for the gank, just be very careful.
Yeah, I'm more than certain that's what they're saying right now, and that's why you have that Caitlyn in the bot, just able to step back with that range. Same as Karma too, they can kind of just play safe, stay back, and try to hold out till Poppy's in a good position to respond. But yeah, here in the mid lane, just mindless poking back and forth, league early game. You see a little bit of aggression there from Xerath, but not much is going to go down there.
Yep, and it looks like G4 getting a little bit frisky with Poppy in her own jungle, trying to steal the blue buff from her, seeing if that's even possible, but seems like not. Syndra might have to flash here, getting a little bit knocked up, and follow-up is going to be good. Flash is going to be forced, and Pink forced on away by the J4, who's now going to look to double scuttle.
Yeah, that's huge there for J4, getting that flash out of Syndra, making her back, giving Xerath free room to farm there a little bit, push wave, but was able to escape with her life. Looks like here, mindless poking in the top lane again. Classic league early game. But yeah, that gank was the closest we've seen to getting that first blood so far.
Yep, and Xerath is going to be coming back to lane just a little bit better off than Syndra in terms of overall buys. I mean, Syndra does have the Darkseal, and I mean, she has been doing a pretty good job aside from the Jarvan gank from poking him down, so I wouldn't be too shocked, especially with the CS gap. If she's able to get to level 6 first, she could totally kill the Xerath and start stacking up the Darkseal. So a little bit of an interesting move because it does delay her buys for her items just a little bit, but like, if she can it's a very gold efficient item if she can get some kills.
Yeah, for sure. And even with that gank flashing, still up on farm, has another wave here that she's gonna take. So she's gonna be increasing that gap a little bit. But yeah, nothing too major as of now. And I wonder, J4's still sticking around that bot side too. I'm guessing this whole game is pretty much just going to be a bot side ramble. Let top side do whatever they need to do, Got Cassante, Mordekaiser whack each other with sticks while They're down here trying to gank, trying to get this objective here with drag. But yeah, the junglers are pretty evenly matched, sticking together throughout the map in general. Poppy's doing really well at sticking opposite to J4, but Poppy being Poppy is a little bit behind there on CS as well.
Right, yeah, Poppy's main goal here, like we said, is to make sure that J4 can't make a big difference in the bot lane here, especially with the dragon up. Oh, they see Poppy waiting in that bush, is going to stop a recall and then burst on into action. In goes the J4, and Poppy going to look to go for a counter engage here.
Yep, Poppy did the job. Just, was there, presence alone. Nothing really could happen there with that gank, but we're just probably going to see that over and over. Poppy trying her best to match that J4, be there for the counter gank. And
close one.
Yeah, looks like it cut away there, but we got action going on everywhere here. Got Syndra in the mid lane, hits the ult, but Xerath did flash. I think that was her W, able to survive off that burst, but looks like we might even see a drag attempt here for blue here on the bot side.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right about that. I think that if Xerath doesn't get the flash off before the W lands, he does 100% die. So, yeah, good use of the flash for him there. He's still going to be able to be up. Still at a pretty decent amount of health as well, and still has ult if he does so need to. But, yeah, not going to be needing that. J4 and co. going to be able to get the first dragon, and Poppy in the meantime, I'm wondering if how she's gonna try and respond to this. Doesn't want to give up too many jungle objectives early game, so gonna be pathing top, maybe looking to help Cassante get a push for grubs, but I mean J4 is gonna be pathing up here real soon, so that would be kind of risky, wouldn't it?
Yep, risky indeed. I guess the more I think about it, Poppy trying her best to match J4 is always a good thing, but the one thing J4 does have up on Poppy is that clear speed early. So while they do match each other, Poppy's trying her best. Jarvan's just going to slowly pick up more and more of a farm lead there. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they play this out. But Poppy in general is just kind of a tank, engage, or disengage. So it doesn't necessarily have to be ahead, just as long as she can hold her around.
Yeah, and if you're Poppy here, all you really gotta do is just get one of these things, and you deny the feat of strength and the full 6. So that's exactly what Central Co is going to do here. Very, very smart, intelligent player, this guy. Just taking the one grub. Doesn't want to overstay because dude knows that J4 is more than likely in the area, looking to, and will 100% punish him if he stays here. So just going to take one, prevent the feats, prevent getting the full 6 grubs, and is going to go back to his clear.
Yeah, and I'll, just from casting here at Hack, a lot of our viewers are newer to League, or have no idea what is going on in League. Looks like we got a gank here. Jarvan hopping in on Syndra, hits the ult, Xerath with the combo, and they will pick up first blood here in the mid lane.
First blood, 9 minutes into the game. All things considered, this has been a very passive game for having a Mordekaiser and a J4 and a Draven. I was thinking people were going to be throwing down the gauntlet. Speaking of which, J4 just going to be picking Poppy's pocket there with the blue buff and just getting safely away.
Yeah, poor Poppy. That is unfortunate for her. Picking up first blood and then walking over, smiting blue. That is a tough one to deal with there.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta let them know who's boss. I mean, yeah, it's just like you're getting ahead on CS, but it's also like the intimidation factor. It's just sort of like the dominance factor. Like, I want you to know that I'm beating you right now. So, yeah, definitely a little bit of a confidence booster there for the J4 and the rest of his team. Gonna be having a little bit of a laugh about that probably, but yeah, just looking at things in terms of how things are going in the rest of the game, J4 not really seeing too much going on here in terms of ganking potential. Things are being pretty safe, as shown by the fact that we just now gotten our first blood. And so, yeah, I'm just wondering what they're going to try and do next here. Just wait for next dragon, try and invade Poppy a little bit more, push some lanes. What do you think?
Honestly, it's a gamble. I think, I'm just going to keep saying this over and over. The first match is always so odd and so weird compared to the rest of the series, only because they're still trying to figure each other out. I think one person we can look at in specific is Jarvan, everywhere. Even hit the invade, and that's someone that's getting the quick read on people, understanding how he can play against this team, and he's definitely taking advantage of it so far.
And Poppy's actually going to be coming in here, and J4 is going to be giving up on it, getting one Void Grub of his own, denying the same to Poppy that she's denying to him. So, yeah, at the end of the day, that really does go to benefit J4 and Wake Blue Tech, because they are still up in terms of getting feats of strength. Ooh, Syndrome might be able to get a kill here back onto Xerath, and does indeed do so. Hitting that W, no flash up for the Xerath this time to dodge it, and he will bite the dust this time.
Yeah, I definitely thought the Xerath pick would be a little bit more safe, being able to stick back, but Syndra's on top of that. Anytime he's gonna step up, she's not gonna let that slide, and he's gonna punish him for it.
Yeah, normally, in my experience with the Xerath versus Syndra matchup, Xerath is just able to get a lot more consistent poke off onto Syndra, especially between like level 6 and 10, which is where they are still at. Oh, putting that thought on hold.
Yeah, we got everyone going in here. Jarvan's there. Poppy's waiting in the bush to respawn. Hits the ult. Nothing goes down for it. We do have the Xerath ult coming in here. Might be able to pick off Karma. Draven gets it, but it does look like Draven is going to go down for that. Ultimately, Red Side coming out on top out of that. Very good response from Poppy. Already waiting in the bush for the counter gank, and is there for the good respawn.
Right, and yeah, that's all you really have to do in this matchup as Poppy, is just be there to counter whatever J4 is doing. She's keeping it nice and neutral enough to where J4 does eventually have to make some plays, otherwise they will fall behind. If you looked at the stats going into that fight, Draven still is 20 CS behind Caitlyn. If he doesn't get any kills soon, he's going to fall off quite drastically. And that is going to be a lot of where your main damage source is coming from. Yeah, you got Xerath. He can do a lot of good damage, but he's still pretty even keel with Syndra here, and Syndra will outscale him. So your main thing is you wanted to get that Draven ahead, but unfortunately you weren't able to do it without getting too much going the other way. And I do believe that Titans are now, they have one full feat of strength being done, while they now have 0 on Wake Tech.
Yep, couldn't agree more. I mean, that fight alone kind of shifted the tides a little bit here between the two teams. So looks like they're gonna have to give up Dragon. J4 is gonna go to that top side, steal more from Poppy. But like we keep saying, Poppy doesn't necessarily have to get fed or keep up and farm. As long as her positioning's good, as long as her response is good, she can be just as impactful in the game.
Very, very true. And so what seems like is going to have to be a necessity for Wake Tech at some point if they're going to be wanting to get the feats of strength, which we can have a debate about how effective the feats of strength are in the current stage of the meta. It's still an important thing to be getting. It can make a little bit of a difference in the early game and stuff like that. It gives you more damage, gives you more speed and stuff like that. But yeah, if you're going to be looking for that at any point, if you're J4, you're going to be at this point needing to get first turret. And which lane is more close to that? Honestly, it's probably still bot lane, in my personal opinion. You're going to have to want to come down here, because if you don't intervene here, Caitlyn's definitely going to be getting it first.
Yep, and that's just one of the strengths of Caitlyn, just no matter what, always being able to put that turret down, and it does look like they will be able to pick up first turret, which just, continues to extend their lead here. So yeah, very good job from Red Side's bot here, knowing when they can push, knowing when to back off, playing around their Poppy for a counter gank, and that leads to first turret.
Yep, and it will also be getting them feats of strength, because let's not forget they did get the first 3 kills, and now they're going to be getting first turret as well. So the jungle objectives in terms of feats of strength are now going to be a moot point. So yep, that does now further give Syndra a lot more speediness. It's going to be giving Caitlyn a lot more attacking speed, and they're not going to be getting that same buff right on back. So yeah, J4, in the meantime, just going to be trying to get some Void Grubs going on here so that Cassante can get a split push potential win con going for them. That is something that they can do. Mordekaiser can obviously counteract that just a little bit, but I don't know. Oh, we'll see. It really does depend.
Yeah, I mean, that's just League in general. Like, no matter how the game's going, you can almost always flip on a dime, and it's I mean, that's one of the things that makes the league just so enjoyable. It's so complex, and there's so much to it that there's just so much that can change over time.
Oh, that's another kill.
Oh boy. Yep. Got the Syndra bursting Xerath down, and then got Caitlyn there, ready with the ult, being able to finish off the kill.
Yeah, and it's looking like the bot cap is starting to make its way towards the mid lane, and now they're going to be trying to use it to siege down this turret here as well, killing out Xerath, and there's absolutely nothing that J4 can do in order to stop this from happening to him. And honestly, if they want to keep on going with this, they could probably go and take some more Void Grubs here if they really, really want to, and just keep on using this momentum to keep pushing things down, keep amassing gold. This is exactly where they want to be in this point of the game.
Yep, they got control early, map control especially, already having mid and bot turret. So now they're a little bit more free to move around, work more as a team, getting different objectives. The blue side's got to be very careful here how they play their cards. This is where you can see a lot of games start to snowball towards one team's direction. But yeah, it's crazy just seeing the jungle. The jungle, I can't think of the word, statistics, I guess. He's up about 50 farm, 60 farm here.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with Poppy. She can just be a tech. She can just be there. It doesn't matter how far ahead J4 is. Just being there is enough to stop him in a lot of cases. So.
Yeah, Poppy is what we'll call a very gold-efficient champion. Some people may call that OP, but I call it gold-efficient because you get a lot more benefit for less gold, which, you know, whatever you want to call it, that's what it is. So, yeah, we are starting to reach a point where we are hitting the snowball for the red side a lot earlier than we were expecting it to be. And unless, in my personal opinion, unless we see a very decisive team fight where Draven gets a very good amount of kills and stacks being cashed in soon, it's going to be very, very hard for Wake Tech to win this game.
Yeah, there's it's always odd looking at it now. I guess you could say Poppy is gold efficient, like you said, really nice tank, but you still have that drive and damage when it comes to a team fight that Poppy doesn't provide. So being able to, if you are able to get around Poppy, hopping on Caitlyn or Syndra, that's just another threat that they have to deal with. But yeah, I have to agree with you that this is where you'll see one team start to snowball a little bit more, just continue their lead, and that, you know, as we're talking about that, they're gonna do that. They're gonna get this dragon and advance their lead here a little bit more.
Yeah, it's looking like the only person that's going to be able to potentially steal here is going to be Xerath, but it doesn't seem like he's too overly keen on that. And ooh, Syndra going to be knocking him down. What a big amount of damage from the W as well. It does manage to escape, but no steal potential going to be there for him, and still just amassing their lead more and more is going to be Titans.
Yeah, it's odd to see that with the objectives, all these, you know, that Red Side's able to obtain here. That they're still only about 1,000 gold lead here, which isn't nothing, but it usually at this state in the game you can see a team up 2,000 to 4,000 with their gold. Blue's definitely doing well at you know, farming, getting gold where they can, but
Two-Shot might be in a little bit of trouble here. Gonna have to take him to Brazil in order to take away some of his stats, but yeah, ooh, he is actually going to be getting a good shield on him there. Rhomboid and Cassante might be in a little bit of trouble. Doesn't have the ult of his own. And Two-Shot might actually be able to knock him down. Oh, splashes away, but can't hit the follow-up. Two-Shot with the outplay is going to be able to survive through up against Rhomboid. Oh, the Draven daggers. The whirling death thing is called. Oh, it comes back and hits him, but it's not, just barely not enough damage. Unfortunate.
yeah, good play there from Two-Shot, knowing that, you know, Leandri's just going to slowly pick away at Cassante's health. Good just play overall in general. I didn't think he was going to be able to turn that around on Cassante, but, you know, that's just good knowledge of your champion, knowing that you're probably going to come out on top of that fight and stuck through with it.
True, that is definitely some good experience on Mordekaiser, or some very, very lucky limit testing. I like to think that it's the first one, though. I like to think that he's just very intelligent when it comes to playing Mordekaiser, though. Because, like, seriously, he probably also was tracking the fact that Cassante did not have his ultimate up, because if Cassante did, he probably would have been able to, as soon as Mordekaiser's ult ends, be able to take him out and get a lot more lifesteal off, and that could have quite easily been the turn of the fight. But yeah, unfortunately he did not, so that's going to be a win for Mordekaiser. Zero Zen trying to chase him down the lane, force and flash out of Caitlyn. Going to be a very key summoner spell to be getting for later on in the game. Going to be forcing them on out of there, and Cassante might be able to get this split push going on here now.
Yep, good play there from Caitlyn. Nice ult from Javen, but Caitlyn being able to flash out of there. You know, you see a lot of players tend to be too conservative with their spells, and that can come back to bite them. But not there. Very good use of flash. And you just see this bot lane roaming all over the map, trying to pick off as many turrets as possible, and now they're able to... I can't remember this boss's name here, this new...
Oh, Otacon?
Otacon, yes. Yeah. Yep. I play a lot of League, but, you know, they keep adding stuff, and I haven't played too much recently, so... hard to keep track of all this new stuff they're adding.
Oh, huge, huge! The fact that they were able to steal that is so massive. This could be a huge turning point in the game. And as Janna gets the shutdown to Caitlyn, a little bit unfortunate that she got the kill instead of Draven, but, I mean, you make do with what you can. So the fact that they were able to kill this version of Otacon, for those viewers that haven't been keeping up with the current season, I'll explain it to you. They now have basically a couple minutes, like a minute or two, of Guardian Angel. So any play that they do from this point forward, while they still have that on them, is going to be completely unpunishable. So they just have free reign to push, get objectives if they're up. Unfortunately, there aren't any, but just push down these turrets with basically no repercussions. It's really great that they were able to steal that, and they also get a little bit of a bonus for killing jungle camps and bosses.
Yeah, that is, and that's League. You know, the whole game can just turn like that on a dime. You just saw the gold lead just flip in one fight, and it's always fun to see all, you know, all these team fights, stuff changing on a dime, and you know, and just looking around, like you have Poppy there, just doing what she can, but now I think the farm is just, you know, coming back to get her here with Jarvan. Almost getting 100 farm lead on Poppy, which is...
That is pretty insane, not gonna lie. I don't care how gold efficient you are, that's some farm efficiency. So, yeah, just looking at Draven as well is starting to get a little bit of a gold lead on Caitlyn because of his cash-in on one of those stacks. He had a lot of stacks at one point, finally got a kill, cashing all those in. He's now got at least a little bit of a lead up on the Caitlyn, and so... yeah, they can really, they should be able to get this dragon. Cassante is going to try and stop them from getting too much going in the top lane as well. But this is a good idea here from Titans. They know they're not going to be really able to fight for the dragon too much, so they're going to see if they can get something going topside with the Rift Herald they got.
Yeah, and that's, oh, looks like we got responding here to mid lane. Zara starting out with the ult, trying to pick down their bot lane. And we have Mordekaiser flying in here, but now he's a little bit caught out. Might be able to pick up the kill, but with that Guardian Angel buff, there's not really too much you can do. And then, oh my goodness, we have Cassante coming in here, responding to this. We have J4 flying in. Looks like they will be able to pick up the double kill.
Oh my god.
That is, that's, you know, a good play there from Blue. Just, bouncing off one kill from another. You know, we still have Syndra and Xerath. I'd say a little bit matched. Xerath is ahead on kills, but I feel like Syndra's damage earlier on does a little bit more than Xerath. Looks like they're going to go in here, and Syndra, she flashes early. J4's going to ult. Draven's going to pick up the kill, and it looks like they're going to be able to escape out of this.
Ooh, this is some risky business from Titans. They're taking a lot of deaths and a lot of damage just to try and defend this turret, but yeah, that's gonna be even more gold going over to Draven, no less. He's already got his Bloodthirster, he's already got his IE, and anything from this point forward, he's firmly past his power spike. He's going to be looking pretty disgusting in these team fights coming up, and Caitlyn might have a hard time catching up to him if things keep going this way. But yeah, Draven on this next back, yeah, he's going to be looking for what's it called? He's going to be looking for LDR, which against Poppy and Mordekaiser is going to be basically deleting them as well. And that's pretty much been one of the major issues for them, is that Poppy's just able to dive them into walls. But even now, after this next buy, Draven's going to be able to take her down too.
Yeah, and it looks like they're taking advantage of, thinking that the other team thinking that they're down, that they wouldn't go for a Baron, but they're going to use that and they're going to go for it anyway and catch them off guard with that.
Yeah, respect. That was a pretty sneaky Baron play, and it was a really intelligent one as well, because they knew that because of the push timing from them on that last push and how close they were to turret when they were all back up again, except for Syndra, obviously, but you know what I mean. Like, they knew that their opponents are going to be trying to back, otherwise they're going to be sitting on a lot of gold, and they'll have just spent their gold. So that was the perfect time to go for Baron for that reason. Again, for those of you guys that are watching, they did not have any of their gold spent, even though they had just had a really good run of play. They would have still been behind because they hadn't spent their gold. And so they had to back, and using that opportunity very well was Titans.
Yeah, for sure. And knowing, no turrets were in jeopardy with that. Nobody was pushing already. That was a very good call there to take that Baron. Things are, I'd say, still pretty even. I feel like team fights could go either way. But yeah, Draven just being able to pick up more and more gold as we move along here. And just having the threat of Jarvan being able to take out their backline. It's... the team fights in general right now are just, I'd say that they are still a gamble. But yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see, I guess.
Yep. And what we're gonna most likely be looking at here is just what can these guys make out of the Baron play. They are 4k gold down in terms of stats, so in the 5v5, even with the Baron buff, they probably still lose, so they do have to be a little bit careful with how they push with this Baron buff. What I would be expecting here is a 4-man push mid and then Mordekaiser pushing side, because if you look at the Cassante and the Mordekaiser side by side, Mordekaiser can totally take the Cassante in my personal... I don't know, it's tough for me to say, because like Mordekaiser can take a lot of Cassante's stats, but if Cassante finds a way to outplay him, he can still win it. It's definitely a skill-based matchup between these guys, but as Mordekaiser, what you want to be doing here is sucking in the attention of one or maybe two of these players, and then that enables the rest of your team to push mid so that they can't get that 5v5 advantage on you with their gold advantage.
Well, it's also, prevent them from taking Baron too. Even if you don't get a whole lot done with it, that just denies Baron from the other team that, may have had more lane priority at the time, being able to push a turret with that. It just stops them from being able to do that. So, whether they do anything with Baron or not, it just prevents the other team from being able to do something with it, which is always a good thing to do. So, looks like we will see both teams here gather toward that bot side. They really want this next dragon. J4 might go in here, but it looks like they're just trying to ward up, get some vision, and try to take this dragon down now that it's up.
Right. Now, unfortunately, it looks like Karma is going to be thankfully stopping her back there, but despite the fact that they have Baron, I think the Baron buff is actually expired for them. They're not going to have Prio in any of mid or bot lane, so that's going to be allowing a little bit of an advantage for Wake Tech to go in and get to Dragon first, and they're going to be trying to go in there with a little bit of vision, but control ward's going to be placed. Can't really see much of anything, and blue team just going to be taking Dragon completely for free.
Yep, and that's, push up lanes, get your vision, and then fall back for that Dragon. Good play there. Top lane can't really do anything. They just hit each other with sticks, so not much going on. But if your other four, aside from top, can handle themselves, it's it's something you can rely on and get more dragons. But yeah, I mean, both top laners do have teleport too, so it would be fun to see them TP in for a fight, but they also both have stuns too, so you got to be kind of careful when you try to pop that TP to assist your team. But yeah, it looks like both teams here, they're gonna do what they can to hold each other back till another team fight's forced, and I'm sure that team fight will be maybe not the deciding factor for the game, but very crucial indeed.
Yeah, and to go along with my previous statement of the Dragon, I want to put out there that I totally agree with Titans giving up that Dragon fight. There was basically no point in them going in there. They're behind like 5k gold on stats. And so if they do go in there without having prio, without having vision, without having really anything going their way, they most definitely would have lost that fight. The Dragon, they might have been able to steal it, but they would have lost a lot in return in terms of turrets and things like that. That is not the fight in terms of just overall macro that you want to be staking your game on right there. You want to push the kick the can just a little bit further down the road for either like Baron or the next Dragon, which is going to be Soul Point. Hopefully by then Syndra can get a couple more items. Hopefully by then Mordekaiser can get a little bit up on Cassante. Hopefully then your Caitlyn can get one-shot headshots. But yeah, I do agree with them giving up that Dragon, bottom line.
Yep. Good call there for sure. Knowing that taking the Jag could lead to your downfall, especially just give it up, farm where you can, keep lanes pushed, and take the loss for sure. But yeah, I mean, I always love seeing games like this too. There's not too much action going on, but you still see all sides with good farm, keeping up with each other. It looks like Xerath is getting caught out here a little bit. Syndra misses the stun, but probably is going to stick on her. And it looks like they're going to be able to pick up the kill. Syndra's ult just stealing half his health. Or Xerath.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for Syndra because I feel like on an individual basis, even though that wasn't a 1v1 there, she's been doing very, very well up against Xerath, but unfortunately doesn't have a whole lot to show for it. And because Xerath has been playing very well around the rest of his team. And just, yeah, I've been getting a lot of help that I feel like Syndra could definitely be doing with a little bit of. But yeah, they know that the Baron is definitely going to be a fight that they lose, especially with Poppy assisting Syndra in the bot lane. So what they're going to try and do to counteract that, get a little bit of something back, is go for a little bit of a bot lane push. Ooh, if they're able to find something going onto this Draven, if he goes a little bit too far up, could be a kill. But with the Baron buff up, you don't want to be staying down here too long, especially with this push going down mid.
Yeah, and a little bit there in the Baron fight, if anyone wondered why the screen was going somewhat black, is she even gonna... Oh. Jarvan is fine, able to get the turret and get out. Back to what I was saying, why half the screen kind of went dark there, for those who don't know, there's something called Fog of War in League, where both teams can only have vision of certain areas. So right now here in red side, you can see Mordekaiser can only see so much around him, and that goes for the whole red team. And then it would be vice versa for the other team as well. So if anybody's wondering why can't they see their whole team's doing this? Well, it's because they don't have something called a ward or vision there to provide that vision to that team. So just in case somebody's
speaking
wondering.
Of which, very important thing that red team is doing here. Unlike last time where they had absolutely no vision, no prio, they at least have prio in one of the lanes, and they're starting to get vision all up in the enemy team's jungle. Look, every single entrance they have vision on. And Janna's going to have a little bit of a hard time seeing this. They see that they're mid, and they could get a little bit of a collapse here. This could be a massive throw into the favor of the red team if they play this properly. But Janna's going to be popping the crown, and they should be able to get on away from this. Still a lot of good vision in the jungle, and if at any time one of them steps up a little bit too far, Poppy can punish, Jarvan can punish. This is going to be a really tense part of the game right here for Soul Point.
Yep, good disengage there for sure. Giving Cassante that split in the top lane too. So very good awareness. I think they cut it a little bit close there in the mid lane. I thought one of them was going to get caught out for sure. But yeah, able to pick up that top turret, and now it looks like they're, just being able to push up and have that presence. They're going to probably lock down this next dragon here.
The one thing that stinks is they may have vision in the enemy team's jungle, but they don't have vision in their own, so they're walking up blind in their own, and J4 sees them coming this entire way. So it's going to be potentially some risky business here as Cassante coming in around the back. Poppy wielding the hammer, gonna completely miss. Syndra does get a little bit of a stun out, but it's going to be complete chaos, and the Dragon Pit going to be taking Caitlyn on away, and big damage coming down from Romaloid. Does manage to get the carry. The ADC is going to be taken down, as is Poppy, and now it's looking like it's going to be a free dragon for Mini and the side of Wake Tech. Syndra forced to run very, very far away. Mordekaiser probably going to be falling down now as well. And this could very well be one thing that seals the deal for Wake Tech in this map number 1.
Yeah, that was just beautiful in general. You had the Mordekaiser come in from the rear with the teleport, but, you know, Jarvan just being able to jump on that backline, do damage, and then while they're trying to flee from that Jarvan, you have Xerath popping his ult, trying to poke at them as they're trying to focus on Jarvan there. It can get very frustrating trying to deal with someone up in your face and someone 3 miles away launching orbs across the map, hitting you over and over and over. So very good knowledge of your team, knowing that you can have someone engage, someone stick way back, poke the back line from... Oh, and it looks like Xerath goes down here to Syndra. A little bit of an overstep, but... yeah, that'll happen. If you step up too far against the Syndra, she'll just delete you, I guess.
She'll definitely one-shot you.
Yeah, and both teams here, like, everyone's still keeping up with their farm, still playing together. We just see Wake Tech here just poking all around them from lane to lane to lane and keeping up that pressure and then being able to step back towards an objective, which could lead here. I guess we have, Elder next for Dragon, and
yep.
That's going to be, I'd say, a pretty deciding factor here. If Wake Tech's able to pick that up. But if Guilford does manage to get that Elder, that'll help him stall out the game. Try to get back, even out the lead there a little bit. And yeah, here we go. Push down mid lane.
Yeah, a major thing here for Titan's success going forward is they need to make sure that Caitlyn does not get abducted by either J4 or Cassante again, because one of the major deciders in that last fight was that Cassante was able to get that great flank off and was able to abduct Caitlyn away from the rest of the team, brought the back line to the front line, and Caitlyn she's a champ that depends on her range, and when she's all up close with people, putting that thought on hold as Xerath is looking like he's going to be getting something going on here. Whirling Death, expert level dodges from the Karma, flashes away from the last one as well. Somehow able to live all of that one, but yeah, major thing there is that they were able to not get abducted by the Cassante. I really think that they just need to make sure they're able to keep their back line in the back.
Well, regardless if they were able to pick up a kill there, it's pushing them back, and we just keep seeing that over and over. Push them out of their jungle, get your vision down, and then fall back for the objective, which is, in this case, is going to be Baron. So you just see that great, can't hear them, but you can just tell there's that great team communication, stick together, and it looks like we're going to have a Baron fight here.
Yep, Poppy gonna try and come on in here with the Hammer of Justice. Does knock the jungler away. Huge if they're able to burst this down before J4 gets back. This might be able to be a steal, and indeed it is. But are they gonna be getting caught with their hands in the cookie jar? Are they gonna be made to pay for this one? It's looking like the answer is gonna be yes, as Poppy's gonna be going down. Karma is now falling as well, but it's looking like Syndra will be surviving. Mordekaiser gonna try and take one with him, but unfortunately for him, is not going to be able to take him down in the Death Realm. Cassante a little bit too beefy for him there, but we do still have 2 people surviving with the Baron buff. But will they be able to withstand this push for a whole minute?
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. You have Jarvan here in the top lane, able to keep that pressure up, but you have the rest of the team in the mid lane. They're going to split up their offensive here. Oh my gosh, Jarvan just gets obliterated. Holy smokes! But in return, they're Blue's going to be able to pick up this inhib, possibly rotate towards bot. But it looks like they're gonna move out with their semi-win, I'd say, and fall back. Yeah, beautiful ult there from that Poppy. I can't even talk. Oh my goodness. Knocking the jungler away from Baron, able to pick up Baron, but even though they were able to get it, positioning wasn't quite right, and they were able to come back in, pick up a few kills, push down mid, pick up that inhib. So it is a trade-off there. Inhib is always very important, very beneficial towards Wake Tech here. But yeah, it's still, I mean, it's not an even game, I'd say, but it's still not out of, oh my goodness, we're getting caught out here. Holy smoke. The ult, will they be able to block this here from Caitlyn? They will. But yeah, that Syndra ult just decimating Draven. That's crazy.
Yeah, fortunately for Draven, though, he has a ton of gold and was able to buy Immortal Shield Bow to shield himself from getting bursted down like that. So, yeah, Immortal Shield Bow shield definitely coming in a little bit clutch for him there. Yeah, even though there is so many things stacked against Titans right now, it is still technically possible that they win, but this flank from the side, pushing up way too far, this is going to be Titans, and punishment due is going to be coming through for them. But it's looking like G4 is going to get a little bit caught out here himself. Mordekaiser's going to be catching one in the backline here as well. The Draven is down for the count, courtesy of two-shot? Man, just pulling victory from the jaws of defeat here. It seems like they're going to be going in here with a lot more damage potential here. Both ADCs are down. It's going to be coming down to who's the better mid laner here, who can provide the damage more. Cassante does still have the ult up, so they do have to be careful of that as well.
Yep, it was a good flank there from the side for blue, but Jarvan going in is able to pick up that Caitlyn kill, but was very secluded from the rest of the team. And it left Draven defenseless in the back lane. And Mordekaiser was able to pop that ult, and
big thing here as well.
Oh boy!
Look who's up, and look what objective is up. Poppy is up, and J4 is still dead for 10 more seconds. They're gonna have to. Oh my God! Great find from Syndra, but gonna get taken to Brazil. Cassante coming in clutch, but Zera's gonna be able to get the finishing blow. Poppy gonna get caught into it as well, and Cassante Rumbleoid coming in and clearing up shop, making enough time for J4 to come back in and get this Elder buff. What looked like a possible win condition for the Titans is going to be dashed away, unfortunately for them. Poppy is still alive, and Caitlyn may be able to do something, but it's a lot less in their favor than it was before, vastly less so.
Yep, we have 4v3 here. Cassante's just going to walk into their jungle, try to prevent them from getting close to this dragon, but we do have Draven moving in now. Cassante cancels the Poppy ult. Caitlyn does move in. Jarvan's going to ult in that Caitlyn, try to take her down. We have Zera following up with the ult, and Mordekaiser ults that Cassante, but it can't get much done there. It looks like they're just going to poke him down, possibly get this Elder here. And yeah, it looks like a free Elder here for Wake Tech. Just amazing team fight for Wake, and they are able to pick up this pretty game-deciding buff here.
Yep, and that ought to do it, ladies and gentlemen. You've got the Elder buff, you've got the main carries for the side of Titans down for the count, and you've got Inhib down, and you've got TPs up, in they go. This should very well be the end, barring a massive carry coming out from Syndra with 400 CS, by the way. We'll see what Syndra can do up against impossible odds as Zero Zen RL eyeing her up, gonna be looking to get rid of her little shield that she's got there, her Banshee's Veil. The one thing that's majorly defending her. Wave's not going to be here just yet, but Cassante is going to be looking for any sort of angle whatsoever onto her.
Yeah, this is going to be, I don't know if they'll be able to close it out before the rest of the team respawns here, but they still do have that Elder buff, so even if they do respawn and fight, they could take them down. And it looks like they might just try to go for the Nexus here, try to end this game. Will they be able to do it? And it looks like Wake Tech is able to take the first round.
Yep, map 1 going to be going into the hands of Wake Tech. A little bit of spooky starts for them, but I mean, hey, they did have that one fight that I was saying that they really need to find a way to get a team fight going their way and get some gold going into the hands of Draven. That's literally exactly what happened, and they were good to go, smooth sailing from there. They had some really good fights and just a lot better vision overall as well. That's something that we pointed out, is that they had just always vision in their opponent's jungle, total control. Their opponents were always walking in blind to all these situations, and that enabled them to get like some really great flanks off from Cassante, who was able to abduct Caitlyn on multiple occasions. And when she was gone and just forced to fight the Cassante 1v1, there was like no damage coming out of the side of Titans, and that was a major deciding factor for me, Jeb.
Yeah, when you have a Cassante and a Jarvan just flying in, Jarvan going for that back line, excluding Caitlyn from the fight, that just leaves Draven on Wake Tech's back line to just pick at whoever he wants. And then you also have that Xerath popping ult, flying back towards that Caitlyn, towards that Syndra, and they, both teams put up good fights. It's just, Wake Tech just, took more objectives and worked, really well as a team there, and they were able to pick up that first round.
Yep, and just looking back on things by the end, Xerath, 11 kills. Absolutely amazing there from him. Not gonna lie, I don't know how I missed that he was dropping double digits by the end there. That's definitely something I feel like I should have picked up on a little bit more. But yeah, definitely outshining Syndra by the end, even though Syndra did have a pretty solid laning phase, I do have to say. But yeah, I still think at the end of the day, they're in the ability for Wake Tech to just bypass the front line and just go straight for the damage dealers, like taking out Caitlyn pretty much every single fight, taking out Syndra sometimes as well, and yeah, no one else really able to do much damage whatsoever at all, or significantly peel the Caitlyn or Caitlyn when it or Syndra when it happened was the thing that killed them. And so yeah, I think if we're not doing Fearless Draft here, we definitely have to be seeing a little bit of a Cassante ban for this next one for sure.
Yeah, that's a tough one to deal with because even if Mordekaiser is able to get towards that back and ult that Draven or take him out of the fight, you still have damage on Wake Tech's team that can pummel Guilford. So it's it's kind of tough for Mordekaiser in general because no matter who you ult, you're also taking yourself out of the fight, and he's a good portion of the damage when it comes to Guilford. So, good teams, good match, but Wake Tech I felt like just played a little bit better towards their advantages, and solid game overall. So.
Yep, we'll see how the teams take the learnings of match number 1 into match number 2, because ladies and gentlemen, this is a best of 3, and we do still have at least one more game to go, and we'll see you guys in just a little bit when we're there with the draft.
Yep.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the series. We are in the NJCAA, and I am Comico, joined by Coach Jeb. In case you guys missed map number 1, it was Wake Tech taking the map by sorry. In the beginning, slim margins, but they were able to snowball their lead strongly towards the end with some great flanks and stuff like that. So, Jeb, what are you expecting to see in response to this in the draft?
When it comes to draft, I feel like better spacing out your damage in general is something they need to do. Pouring a lot into Caitlyn and Syndra was good, but in the end, it came back to bite them a little bit. Especially when they had champions, when Wake Tech had champs that could kind of seclude that damage from the rest of the team. So I don't know. Probably more damage coming from the jungle. Poppy was a good pick. But just not having that extra damage, I felt like wasn't quite enough to match Jarvan in the end run. So
yeah, I think if I remember correctly, Poppy had like what, a little bit above 3k damage, and Jarvan had about like 12k. So that's definitely a bit of a difference, I would say. But I mean, hey, Poppy serves some great utility, especially in the early game. We thought that we were really starting to think that Titans, because Poppy was just like, blocking Jarvan from doing much of anything in terms of his bot ganks and stuff like that, that they were going to be able to win just because Poppy was always there, always managing to stop his plays. But obviously, they were able to find one good play. Draven got a lot of gold, and they were able to snowball the rest of the game from there. It just takes one when you're got a Draven on your team, especially a Draven as good as Wake Tech's. But yeah, to our point, we were theorizing that they might be banning Cassante this time around, Titans, just because it was a very annoying thing to deal with. The one thing that they could have had be their driving factor through to the end was their Caitlyn, who was getting to a point where she could one-shot headshot even the J4, like 3 autos and he's dead. But Cassante just kept grabbing her, just kept finding ways to get behind the front line, drag her out in front of the rest of the team, and just kill her before she can even really do any damage. So aside from that, do you think that there's anything else that we're going to be seeing in terms of bans or just different picks?
Well, a lot of the time I see when it goes around too, a lot of the bans are just what the other team played. It's just showing them off their game, making them, switch it up. So even though Wake Tech was able to take that win there, they might still ban whatever Guilford was using because it just throws them off their game again. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be an odd one. Obviously, we're going to see here pretty soon what the teams are going for. But yeah, I mean, the Caitlyn was very good, very impactful. But just that J4 being able to get in or Cassante. But then you also had the Xerath follow-up from a mile away, just being able to sling ults over and over again at either Caitlyn or Syndra, just being able to have that utility from a mile away and poke them down and keep them moving over and over. So,
dude, Xerath is just like, oh, I'm bot when I should be mid lane for this fight. No problem. Let me just press my ult. Yeah, no, not too shocked. We are going to be seeing a Xerath ban, a little bit of a targeted ban going on there from the Titans. Wake Tech not going to be going for anything specific from last game, but just banning a lot of really good meta champs like Ahri, like Diana. Diana's got a lot of really good busted builds for both mid and jungle, so a very versatile ban, that one from Wake Tech.
Yeah, we see Guilford here coming with the J4 Draven and the Xerath ban, just trying to knock them off their strong suits, which is always a good idea. It's good to do. And then you do see this coming from Wake Tech as well, getting that Caitlyn out of there. Obviously, they don't want to play against Diana, so that's always a good one to take out. But yeah, it looks like we're going to move here into the first couple picks. They did pick up Karma. And then we got a Lulu pick here from Wake Tech, which... How do you feel about that? What do you like? What do you think?
Lulu is like one of the strongest supports in the meta right now, so I think that that is definitely a little bit of a gap in terms of the strength of the support picks right now. Karma, on the other hand, is only really good in terms of certain situations, like if you have Caitlyn who is banned. So I don't know. I think that so far so good for Wake Tech. They're thoroughly winning the draft phase so far, so I'm just curious how they're going to follow this up. Volibear, very versatile pick, can go top or jungle. Good pick.
Or mid lane, like me. That's my favorite.
Oh God, no, please.
That's my favorite comp pick. Taking Volibear in the mid lane, going AP, destroying people. That I love because it just catches people off guard. But yeah, other
Cinch
than that,
though.
hey, yeah,
Interesting.
that's these picks are very different, very different from last match.
Yeah, very different in comparison to the last one. I mean, the only same thing we've got so far is we've got Karma as support and an AP top laner. That's literally the only things that are the same. But yeah, I think that Camille in response to Singed is pretty good because not only can you farm pretty efficiently with Singed proxying you, which I assume is going to be the idea here for Titans, but Camille can also, if lock down Singed so that he can't just run around in circles around her. So yeah, it's a good pick in response for Wake Tech there.
Yeah, it's a good pick, but then again, you see the Volibear and the Camille. It's still good champs. You know, they can be really good tanks, I guess. Camille can. But it's still damage. You know, we're still seeing that again. They're still picking a top and a jungle that do damage. So it's always good if they're able to get to that backline. They can still create that threat of pushing Karma and whoever this ADC is out of the fight. So we are seeing that again, and it looks like the last 4 bans are going to go through here. And yeah, we're going to get back to the picks here.
Yep, Silas being banned, pretty smart in my personal opinion because you've got a lot of really good ults on this team. You got Volibear ult, Lulu ults. Literally any one of these ults, if you stole it, would be catastrophic for Wake Tech. And Smolder on the other side. That is really interesting. They've got a really scaly comp here, and that late game, if Titans are able to get to the late game, man oh man, is their comp going to be unbeatable. But I don't know, the snowball and just overall ease of execution so far from Wake Tech for me is just looking quite a lot better, and they haven't even fully finished their comp. Mid lane, where are they going to go? They could literally throw anything here if they really want to and still have it be pretty good, in my personal opinion. Could even go like LeBlanc or something like that. Oriana, not too shabby either, to try and bully the Aurelion Soul. Smart move.
Yeah, for sure. I will agree with you on the late game there. Maybe they are going off of last match where I feel like they held pretty even there. Middle-ish game, but definitely early game they were there. So if they're trying to ride that again, try to get to that late game, and you know that'll be a very hard comp to go against if they actually get to that point.
You know what, dude? You're so right. I neglected to remember the fact that the last game was 41 minutes long. So of course they have time to scale if we're going to be having that be a common theme throughout these games, having them be like 40 minutes long. Of course, if Smolder gets the 400 CS, he's just going to carry the game. Of course, if Aurelion Sol gets the 400 CS, he's just going to win the whole game. And so, yeah, I think if that's the idea that Titans are going for, it's a gamble, but it's a well-informed gamble, I would say. It's like they're not going in blind. Maybe they know how to count cards on like a beginner level. You know what I'm saying? I still think like on paper, Wake Tech's comp is superior, but I could definitely see why Titans have drafted the way they did.
Yeah. You know, it kind of matches off of how the last game went. You have Wake Tech here, good damage, good early game-ish, early into mid-game. I feel like they definitely have more threatening champions. But yeah, if Titans are able to hold out until that late game, that's going to be a pain to deal with for sure.
Now, like the one thing that like is tough for Titans is where is their heavy duty engage? You know what I'm saying? Like you have Singed who can go really fast, but it's not like, instantaneous like a Jarvan ult. It's not instantaneous like a Camille ult or a Volibear ult. And yeah, that for me is just like they don't really have that much of a capacity for that. They're very they're very good at peeling themselves, I'll say, with the Aurelion Soul ult, with the Smolder ult, with the Singed ult, and just being able to toss them away. But if they ever want to like try and take a fight, that might be where they run into some difficulty.
Well, yeah, maybe they're banking on the fact that they can survive the engage and being able to turn it back throughout the fight, just if it does get to that late game. But yeah, engage is very lacking. It's going to be hard with Singed, but maybe they'll just play passive and flip Singed, use Singed to flip Volibear or Camille out of the fight, you know, back towards the front line. So I don't know. This is a very interesting comp here. But like I said, it doesn't really matter who you pick. It matters how well you are at playing them, in my opinion. And, you know, if we have a really good Camille here, really good Volibear, that's going to be a very annoying engage to deal with. But maybe we got a God Singed on our hands here, and he's just going to be flipping around, you know, poisoning people. Who knows?
Maybe. I mean, it could also have the effect of dragging in the attention of the jungler. If Singed is just free farming in his topside jungle, Volibear might feel enticed to go and try and kill him. And so that I typically see be a big time waster for a lot of junglers. And so if they're able to do that, maybe that'll give Graves some time and opportunity to out-farm Volibear potentially, to get some more ganks off. It's definitely something that is with its merits here, playing Singed. It's very safe farming if you're able to get to the proxy position, and you have the potential to take some time up away from the jungler as well.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, while they do have really good late game damage here with that Smolder Aurelion Soul, I feel like they have more damage, which is good to see than last game. I mean, Graves you can't underestimate either. He'll just crit you to death out of nowhere. They have that Aurelion Soul damage, which is huge, and then also Smolder as well. So you can see that their damage, I feel like, is a little bit more dispersed compared to last game, where it's really focused into a Syndra and a Caitlyn that could just get destroyed in a fight because of because the engage from J4 or Cassante. But I feel like they hold a little bit of a better shot here when it comes to a team fight in general, especially toward that later game. But
yeah, I don't know. I feel like they also have just as much as they have a shot, I think they have a equal shot of getting one shot every single fight. Because if you look at their, if you look at how squishy their team is, except for Singed, even Singed doesn't build out and out tank. Graves has the potential to get one shot by Volibear, Orianna, and Jinx. You got Smolder, who's at risk of getting one-shotted by Jinx and Volibear and Camille. And literally every single one of them at any point of the game, especially if this Camille gets ahead and starts to do some true damage, like just massive amounts of true damage. Volibear goes in with Orianna Ball, and they synergize their ults together into Camille ult. It's just looking like it could be a really bad time in the fights. So at the end of the day, when we're looking at these teams side by side, I have to give the edge to the red side, dude. It's like just the ease of execution is just so much more infinitely there, in my opinion, for them.
Yep. And also they just have that early game advantage too. A lot of their champions just do more damage when it comes to early to mid game. So if they are able to roll with that, play to their strengths, team fight, and communicate well, I don't know how much it'll matter going into late game if they're able to stop the game from getting to that point too. If they work together and they prevent late game status, I'm sure that's probably the goal that they're going for as of now.
All right, well, we can theory craft all we want as to how this game is going to be going, but ladies and gentlemen, we've still got a little bit of time before this game is actually going to be getting going. We truly find out how this game is going to go. So we're going to take a quick break, emphasis on the quick. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back real soon. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. We are in here still with Wake Tech versus Guilford, and welcome finally to Summoner's Rift. In case you guys missed our analysis and breakdown of the team comps, you see them here now before you right now. It's definitely looking like a late game going on here for Titans, whereas if I had to bet money on this game, Jeb, I'd be betting on Wake Tech just with their comp.
Yeah, I refrain from betting on anything league because I think I said it in the first game. Anytime I ever try to predict anything in this game, it somehow manages to find a way of not working in my favor. So, I can say all I want when it comes to draft, but who knows? League can go any way at any time. So
Yeah, now I'm typically pretty good at betting on things because I know when to hold and when to fold them. I'm actually the only person I know to have beaten the house. Like I was on a cruise one time, and I actually walked away with money. So I'm feeling very confident in myself right now, Jeb.
Yeah, that's not me. I'll tell you what. I've learned my lessons. So I kind of stay away from that in general.
Yeah. Yes, I most certainly do not endorse doing any of that. What I just said, by the way. So yeah, just putting that out there.
Yep. But
oh
yeah,
my God, Camille.
Yeah, that's I hate Camille, man. Oh my goodness, I just don't like anything that she does. Crazy. But yeah, here we go. We got the late game comp versus the bully early game, middle game comp, and we're gonna see which way it goes here.
Early level 2 going to be gained from 2-shot, but he is running a little bit low in the mana department and the health as well, so he's going to have to take it back and TP back to lane, otherwise Camille is definitely going to be killing this guy. Does not manage to deliver the wave. As you can see, Camille in the minimap is going to be dragging it on away, so Singe is definitely going to have to TP, otherwise he's going to be missing some minions.
Yeah, for sure. Also, Camille with that Ignite, too, is going to be...
She did lose a lot of health, though.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting here. I mean, if she's able to withhold the freeze here, get back, and teleport, she'll probably be fine, but as we can see from this Singed, he is not shy to going in and fighting, so who knows?
Yeah, this is risky business for Camille, though, I do have to say. She does have the shields and she does have the health pot, but Singed having backed does have a lot more health than her, so she does have to play this a little bit carefully until she's able to get some grass procs off.
Yeah, and with that Ignite, she might be able to take him down here, honestly. If Singed does go in, she does have the lunge with her E, able to stun him, get that good damage. We might see an Ignite pop here, but Singed is going to Ghost, run away. I don't think he's going to die from this. But cutting it a little bit close.
Yeah, he popped those pots. Otherwise, he was definitely 100% dead there for Camille. Even with the grievous wounds from the Ignite, still able to just barely get him over the top there. But yeah, definitely going to show how one-sided this is going to be in a little bit if Singed can't manage to get the proxy off. And speaking of which, we got a little bit of an invade going on here, but nothing really going to be happening because of it.
Yeah, Volibear trying to stop Greaves there. I'm taking his camps. We'll be able to get the scuttle. Probably go down to the other scuttle here in the river. I don't know if Graves will be able to contest that. It looks like he's going to be a little bit late to the party.
Yeah. And Volibear actually going to be taking some of his jungle there as well, so he would be kind of ill-advised to challenge him for that as well, in my personal opinion. Because, again, we pointed out the early game advantage that these guys have. Both lanes, mid and bot, are going to be pushed. And Volibear does have a full level on him from being able to invade him for free. So, yeah, Volibear definitely could be looking strong for this first little bit of the game.
Yep. And it's kind of odd. I don't know if Volibear's going to try to focus on this bot lane, try to get their bot ahead, or if he's going to try to punish his Singed. Catch him when he's trying to proxy or push a wave, so... But yeah, it looks like a lot of early game aggression so far. Out of Wake Tech. Not much coming out of it, but still you can see that aggression that we didn't see from the last match. Early game, anyway.
Yeah. Ooh, Aesol running a little bit low on mana here as well. Definitely finding himself a little bit at the mercy of Orianna. Probably going to have to give up a little bit of minions here, but we're definitely seeing the early game pressure playing out in every single one of the lanes so far, except for it's still looking pretty okay bot lane, but again, Smolder is going to be having to back. The pressure is just so much that these guys are just running out of mana and having to back, and that's going to allow for Wake to just get a lot of CS leads, fight for these early objectives, and yeah, we knew it was going to be that way, though. It just depends on how much they're going to be giving up in this time.
Yeah, for sure. We have Orianna here just being able to auto-attack every minion for whatever she needs, and poor Aurelion Sol has to summon a star to do anything, or a laser beam.
Yeah.
Looks like we have Camille here going into Graves jungle, trying to look for him, but looks like you just about to miss him by a few seconds here.
Yeah, I think she was trying to get a little bit of vision on him, but not quite going to be seeing him.
Yeah, this is very interesting. We're probably going to have Volibear might go for the early drag here.
Now, if I'm Singed, I'm trying to get the proxy off here, but God, Camille is just doing such a good job of blocking it. If that wave doesn't hit the turret, he can't go for it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Singe. And I think we have Volibear going on Dragon here. Yep. He is able to pick up that early objective. Try to extend the little gold lead they do have. Try to push it forward. Graves is going to counteract by getting these grubs here, but I don't know. Grubs to a dragon's just a little... I don't know. I guess it could go either way, but I like dragons.
Yeah, dragons are pretty good, but if they're gonna have a secondary win con of having the Singe split push, then it's pretty good for them to be getting that as well. And that's the only lane that you have prio in, like mid and top are the only lanes that you have prio in, so knowing that Volibear's down there, you know it's gonna be for free, so you just kind of take what you can get when you're Graves in this situation. The fact that he's getting anything at all is still pretty decent in my opinion.
Yep. Oh, we have Volibear coming in here for the gank here. Hits that Smolder. Smolder flashes out. Doesn't look like they'll be able to pick up a kill, but do burn a flash there and a barrier there on Smolder.
And solid peel there as well from the Karma. They're going to be living to fight another day just a little bit, and in the meantime, Graves is going to be looking to do a little bit of counter jungling of his own. So far, he's been getting counter jungled by Volibear, but he's going to be looking to get a little bit of something back of his own.
Yep, trying to get some of that gold back. But yeah, this is Camille really is holding that wave top, you know, being very smart about it.
Honestly, Singe needs some help, bro. He's gonna be looking to get going in any meaningful amount of time. I would maybe Graves just needs to help him like push it or something like that, because yeah, I don't know. That wouldn't be completely out of the realm of the possibility for me to see stuff like that. It's totally normal for junglers to help people fix their waves. I don't know if it's necessarily for like this purpose, but like, yeah, I think Singed might need a little bit of assistance because Camille is just completely preventing him from getting that wave under turret and going for the proxy.
Yep, Camille definitely knows her strengths here, able to hold this wave and just foil all of Singed's plans. So sad.
Yeah, poor Singed, bro. Feels incredibly bad, man. But, yeah, he's still gonna be here. Maybe 12 times the charm, but he sees Volibear here. He's just gonna be getting forced on the weak side once again, and so it's gonna be backing on away. Graves now has good intel onto where this guy is, but can't really do too much with it, unfortunately for them.
Yep, just poor Singe.
Yeah, the game is frozen.
Am I frozen? Okay. Wanted to make sure that wasn't...
Yeah, I believe the game has just frozen for everybody, ladies and gentlemen, so we're just gonna, until the game comes back, I guess, break down what we've seen so far and take a little bit of a holistic look at the map since we have a literal pause in the action here. Jeb, things are looking pretty great for Wake on the red side so far, but yeah, I don't know. It's just like Still some good things. They're not as far behind as I was expecting them to be. Like 1.2k gold at this stage is still pretty sizable, but what's your opinion on how Titans are doing so far?
Um, well, honestly, I'd say both teams are doing all right. Especially with Wake Tech having the early advantage with damage. Just Guilford being able to hold their own so far. They all are. Well, all of them are behind when it comes to farm in general. Wake Tech's doing pretty good at keeping up the advantage overall, I guess you could say. But so far, this Camille right now is just kind of shining a little bit here in this top lane, being able to hold the wave where she wants it. And um, in terms of prio, when it comes to Wake Tech's bot lane, they're able to keep up that pressure. Oriana is able to push wave when she needs to, and it can kind of lead to easier dragon attempts. So maybe that's the goal they're going for there.
Yeah, and it looks like we're having a little bit of technical difficulties here as well. So we're going to be cutting to a quick break, and once we get the game back above 1 FPS, we'll be right back here with you guys. See you in a little bit. And welcome back to Summoner's Rift, ladies and gentlemen. We are a little bit later on than we were originally, but as you can see here, things are still pretty much as tie game as things were when we left off. Dragon has actually gone into the hands of the blue team, despite they had the not as good start as we do recall. But yeah, it looks like kills have only gone in the hands of Singed onto Camille somehow. I would have loved to have seen that, dude.
Yeah, that's
it looked like it was going the opposite direction, right?
Yep, that's not what I expected here. Looks like we do have a little bit of a fight kicking off here in the bot lane. I don't think it will go anywhere here. Pretty even so far, but it looks like Wake Tech is going to get pushed off a little bit. Also, Singed bullying Camille in the top lane, able to pick up another kill.
Yeah, a win condition unlocked, bro. Look at that. He's already got the second turret.
Man, something happened, man, when this stream went down. That's crazy.
He's left with for the third turret already. This guy.
Oh, we have Jinx all coming in here to steal a dragon. Volibear's in there, tanking it up, doing damage, but it doesn't look like it'll be enough. Jinx might be able to make up for that. They pick up the second kill. Yep, and it looks like they're just going to pick off Guilford here and pick up the rest of the kills. Okay.
A lot just things. Yeah, we might have good things going on in the top lane, but man, oh man, did Jinx just go off. Didn't get a lot of the kills. Most of those went in the hands of Volibear, who's going a little bit of a AD tank, which is not something that I normally see, but it's still something that is viable nonetheless. Obviously he would be going it if he wasn't, but ooh, Singed looking to expand the gap to the mid lane as Monsai having a really hard time evading him. Grab gonna be coming back up soon for Singed, and oh my god, he is just feasting. Singed looking for the carry angle.
That was the last thing I expected going into this game, was the Singed, you know, pulling up to fight, and he's doing well. Look, only one on Guilford with kills, able to hold his own and push 2 turrets by the time that we got back into this match.
Dude, the Singed glow up is absolutely unreal. He goes from getting bullied to beating up the bullies. It's the full, like, you know, Peter Parker nerd arc, I guess you could say. He goes from getting bullied by Flash in high school to, like, you know, being like, you know, the superhero that's saving everyone and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll see if he can carry the rest of his team. He's literally the only one on his team with kills right now, so we'll see how hard Two Shot can carry with Otacon coming up.
Yeah, it is odd. Guilford is able to, you know, holding their own pretty well here going into the middle game. Obviously, that's their goal. You know, keep it as even as possible, wait for the late game. But it does look like Volibear is able to go in here, catch off that Karma. But he's going to get collapsed on here. Ult's out. We got the ult flying in here. Everyone's kind of dispersed. Everyone's getting split up from each other, and Guilford was able to pick off that Lulu there. Good plays there from Guilford.
My gosh, this Singed is just soaking up so much attention for that entire fight. Minnie was just forced to just only auto Singed, and all the while, all the rest of the squishies on the team and all the carries on the blue side were just able to focus on all the targets they needed to. That was just really great distraction coming out from Singed. If he's able to keep consistently doing that, then man, oh man, it might not matter that Jinx is starting to get a little bit excited.
Yeah, we got the chase down of the century here. Just chasing down this Orianna. I don't think anything will come of it, but still scary. It's got to be scary from Orianna, you know. Singed gets one flip and you're done.
So true.
Yeah, we got the TP here coming from Aurelian, able to hold that top push. But yeah, this is a pretty even match so far.
Yep, it's just really going to come down to who can do more with the gold that they've got. I mean, eventually Smolder's going to start to get his way back into the game. He's going to start to be dangerous, but yeah, I don't know, man. Volibear, we'll see what he can do. It looks like they're going to try and go for a little bit of an angle on the top, which I agree with. This is exactly what you should be trying to do in a situation like this. You see Singed Spot, you got to be getting your gold, you got to be getting your objective somewhere. So they're going to try and team up for a take on top. Probably not going to be getting any kills here, but definitely going to be getting the turret. Ooh, and he's going for a little bit of an audacious chase, but not really anything to be coming of it. The thing is that Camille is going to be having to back now, and this could be an angle, you think, for Graves forcing the Otacon battle? Maybe?
I mean, maybe.
Forced.
I don't know, because, I mean, they could go for it, but I feel like it's still a little bit of a gamble there from both sides. But then we see here again, this Volibear farm. Like, I don't know what he's on, but just being able to keep up quite a vast margin here on Graves. When it comes to getting all these camps and all this farm, just maintaining that lead is what we saw from him playing Jarvan last game. And I know Jarvan didn't get that many kills, but the farm alone was just ridiculous. Just being able to make up for those the kills there.
Yeah, he is definitely feasting, but I don't know. This might just be like, I don't know. He just doesn't seem like he survives as much as I would expect him to up against Graves and those guys, even with the amount of farm he has up on them, which is really interesting. But yeah, it looks like Dragon's gonna be coming up soon, looking to get Prio in all the lanes. Definitely gonna be getting it mid, but maybe not so much on the bot side. It's gonna be a little bit easier for Orianna to get it because she has the turret, but yeah, should be a quick push into Dragon Angle here, but oh, Ori looking like she's getting caught out. She's gonna try and flash herself on out, but this is definitely a death angle for her. It is gonna be flashing a little bit extra there, but I mean, hey, kill secured.
Yep, looks like while that was happening, we're gonna get this Dragon here, and we were able to get top turret as well there with Camille, so, you know, you had the trade-off there, you know, they were able to pick up that Orianna, but you know, in return, they lost that dragon, they lost that tower, and those are pretty crucial objectives there to try to hold on to.
Yeah, honestly, for Wake, that is big time worth. All you have to do is trade Orianna for third dragon and getting second tier top turret. That you take that trade every single day of the week. Orianna is only worth a normal amount of gold, but you're getting vastly more in return for that. If you look at the gold difference now, it's about 4K, and a little bit more than that. So, yeah, it's definitely seems like a little bit better decision making going to be made by Wake so far. We'll see if that can help them as we do start to get a little bit more of the mid late game, where, in theory, Titans are going to start to shine more and more.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see here what they want to go for. It looks like top prio is their main goal as of now, especially being able to push all those turrets down. They have a little bit more control when it comes to top side. But yeah, I don't know. It's unfortunate we lost that time too, because it's kind of hard to gauge how team fights are going to go as of now. Just because we missed that early mid game. But yeah, this is going to be interesting here. We got Singe going in on Camille here again. Camille's going to return, go for the fight. But yeah, I don't know. This is quite the oddball match so far. And I guess just looking like individually too, we have Jinx that is up on Smolder as of now. Same thing with Orianna, and same thing with Jungle too, with Volibear. So they have a small advantage across all their players, except for Camille. I guess Camille is up on farm. But when it comes to a team fight, Wake may have the slight advantage, but I feel like it comes down to how well it's executed on both sides.
Right, and I can't really tell you one time in the last like 27 minutes I've seen the side of Wake be actually able to take a team fight with all 5 of their members, and that's even more credit to the Singe just being such a nuisance, forcing Camille, forcing somebody, even sometimes more than one person to deal with them. And so the biggest strength of Wake's comp is not really being able to be fully utilized to its potential. So I think that's something that Wake has to change very, very soon. They have to force a fight sooner rather than later. Otherwise, they're just never going to be able to take an advantageous team fight by the time their opponents are fully scaled up. Just a little stat check on Smolder once again. I think he was really close to getting his 250 stacks. Yeah, he's really, really close. And once that happens, you get executes. You don't want to be having that by the time you take the team fight for the first time.
Yeah, that's not an ideal situation to fight into. But like I said, with their strengths on Wake Tech kind of spread out, it can make a team fight a little bit easier to maneuver.
And it's looking like they're going to be starting Otacon. High potential for a flip going on here. In goes Volibear with the flash, following up, and Acel going to be trying to get... Oh my god, that damage is disgusting! Execute now going to be hit by Smolder, trying to ult in onto the back line. Does manage to burst down Graves, but it's looking like Volibear should be going down. No! Huge healing! Courtesy of the Spirit Visage, and somehow, some way, they're able to pull it through. Singe just barely getting to the fight now, just a little bit too late. Gonna try and make up for lost time here. Should be able to get down Orianna and might be able to force them away, but man, oh man, I don't know if he can manage to take this Volibear now, actually. Voli's actually eating him alive. Down goes Singed, and now Acel doesn't have a dash, or he does now, but he's gonna be not getting it before the stun. He's gonna be trying desperately with no mana, but it should be a zero-sum game going up against Zen as he takes down the whole entirety of the team.
Yeah, that's I definitely thought Smolder was gonna turn it there and get at least 3 of them, take them down. But it looked like the little overstay there in the objective. Singe was able to get there, make a little bit of a difference, but Volley in turn is kind of a beast right now and was able to, take back the fight. The W proc from the Spirit Visage, it gave him back half a health bar. He was about to get executed, but literally he was able to get the second W off on Smolder in quick succession in time. So instead of dying, he just got his full health bar back and killed Smolder. It was fantastic. That's Volibear gaming for you there, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
CS up on his laner, just completely carrying the game.
Yeah, that's crazy. We have Camille going in here, might pop an ult. Playing a little bit safer. They're just going to try to get this dragon back out. But it looks like they are going to go in here, catch Graves out with the Camille ult, maybe snowball off this with Volibear ult. About to see here, Orianna ult coming in, able to take down Karma. They might go for a little bit of a chase here, but looks like they're just going to try to push out lanes. Possibly get a turret, but maybe just push here and get a reset.
And now you see where the strength of their comp really comes to life. When they are able to take these team fights together, the ult combinations between Volibear, Orianna, and Camille, if you try to get away, it doesn't matter how many of these ults you're throwing down. Smolder ult, Acel ults, anybody's ult, it does not matter. One person is going to be dying, and if you're not able to burst back Volibear in time, which seems exceedingly harder and harder to do, you're just going to lose.
Yep, and this is... see Wake Tech here just powerhousing through their home here, throwing the furniture around, kind of walking about some, able to get that inhib. They're going to reset here, possibly go for this Baron as a next move. And you have that Singed, which was annoying to deal with, but now that the whole team of Wake Tech is just generally ahead of their counterparts, they can kind of ignore that Singe and do what they need to do when it comes to a team fight.
Yep. So at some point, Singed is probably going to start building a couple of tank items, and it looks like that is what he's doing now. He's going to be going for a little bit of Fimbulwinter, which on him is going to be quite disgusting, but Graves might be getting caught out here once again, getting speeded up by the Orianna, forcing the flash. Ult is going to be missing for Orianna. But, yeah, it looks like they're just going to be backing up just a little bit there. Graves will live to fight another day, forced to flash, but does get a little bit for it. Things that aren't on quite as long of a cooldown, but they might be able to exploit that in the short term. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, if they would have gotten Graves there, would have secured this for sure, but just pushing him out in general, pushing the whole team away, kind of leaves, Wake Tech to do what they need to do right here and pick up the buff. The double buff.
Yeah, and honestly, dude, there's absolutely no reason not to get Baron and try and end here. You've got the Otacon buff, you got the GAs, you've got How much gold is it? 8k up on your opponents, and you've got an unkillable Demon King Volibear. Of course you're going to back and try and end right now. Let's see if they can do it, honestly.
Yep, that's what's going through their minds right now. Is we got everything. It's time to throw it at Guilford here and see if they're able to pick up the win here. Now, do you think they're gonna all rush down mid, or do you think they're gonna spread?
No.
Oh, okay,
No,
yeah, there's
definitely not. I would, but they're probably good. These guys are a lot more methodical than I am in my solo queue games, so
I
gonna try and do. It is the right thing. They're gonna try and look for a pick in the jungle, and Camille might very well have one onto Graves here if she does have her E up in time. But Sinja's gonna come down here as well. They're just gonna push in all lanes and see if they can get a pick. If they do get a pick, they try to end.
Yep, and they're running in the 1-3-1 right now. Looks like they're gonna move here forward to the top lane, leave Camille on the bot. Has that teleport, so she is able to join the fight. But yeah, it looks like they're just gonna chip away at Guilford's defenses here and try to whittle them down until there's not much they can do. Oh my goodness, amazing Oriana coming out there. Fortunately, wasn't able to pick up Graves, but that's going to make them back out, so they're able to push this turret. And you still have Camille fighting Singed in the spot lane. But if they are able to pick up this inhib, that's going to be very tough to deal with for sure.
Yeah, the good thing about Smolder now is you do have those backsplashes from his Q. Oh, great flash onto the Graves! Volibear's roaring him down. You can't escape the bear. You can't escape the fate. And it's looking really like it's going to be GG angle here any second now. Volibear just taking down Smolder and Graves. Their potential to hold this off is starting to look very, very slim at best. But Singed, what can you do? You've got all this gold, you've got all this power, and with great power comes great responsibility. Peter Parker arc coming full circle. Let's see what he can do. Nothing really, unfortunately. And this is 100% going to be GG 2-0 in the hands of Wake.
Yep. Good fight to the end for both teams, but, Wake Tech with that team comp able to come ahead and, work to their advantage and close out game 2.
Yep, it goes. I gotta be totally honest. That's pretty much how I expected the game to go just from the draft phase. I was starting to believe a little bit though once after that little break we came back and Singed went from just getting bullied to bullying and just beating down the first 2 turrets in like 20 minutes. I was like, maybe this can be something, but unfortunately, Wake were able to get themselves together. They were able to, start making some cohesive team fights, start playing their comp and executing very well on their comp setup, and that's really all they really had to do, and they did it.
Yeah, that coming back to that game after the disconnect was quite the surprise, but they were able to hold it together, bring it back, and just slowly start the snowball, and into late game it didn't matter. They were able to just bomb their base and take them down.
Yeah, now I do have to say one thing I wasn't expecting was for Volibear and Zero Zen to be carrying so massively hard as he did there. Like I was expecting like to see main carry be Jinx, and obviously Jinx Mini Gooster was doing incredibly well. Even if Zero wasn't doing as well as he was, Jinx still could have very easily carried that game. But when I looked at this comp, I'm like, I was not expecting Volley to be like just going in all aggro, just like completely killing everybody. Like I expected him to be aggro and engaging, but I was expecting to die for it and not be the one just getting all the kills as well. So Zero Zen, hats off to you, dude. I feel like I want to give him man of the match, to be honest, for that performance.
Yeah, I don't typically see the AD side of Volibear. I love Volibear. I love going AP. That's my thing. But it's always fun seeing, how people want to build their stuff, and that was definitely the right call. Those W heals were just insane.
Dude, I know. Like literally, best case of what you're saying right there. Smolder had him at execute point, but he W's and then he's back to full health. It was like the most jarring thing. I was so not ready for it. Like I was caught totally by surprise by it. And so Yeah, that off tank volley barrel build, man. Oh, it goes wild. It does stuff. But yeah, I think we're gonna be getting a little bit of a an interview going on here pretty soon, unless I'm mistaken.
It looks like Zero, their jungler, the volley bear, is
Hey, man of the match, let's go. I mean, sorry, have we decided that he's the man of the match yet, or are you gonna nominate someone else?
I mean,
We can
that
have a debate about
match,
this if you want.
sure. Like that's, I mean, the 10-0, it speaks for itself. Just and that heal. I mean, if those heals didn't come out, then Smolder would have got to execute and possibly turn the fight there. So,
That's actually very
def-
true, yeah.
yeah. I believe he is in our waiting room now. So, at any moment, we're gonna have Zero hop in. Oh, and it looks like he's here. The the myth, the legend here on the volley bear. Zero,
Hello.
how you doing tonight, Zero?
I'm doing pretty good after that win.
Feel good, huh?
Yeah.
Good, good. What now? That volley bear build, I haven't seen before. I haven't seen a whole ton of people playing volley bear as of recent. Um, that opposed to AP, what do you like more?
I feel like everyone, to be honest, that goes like the Rod of Aegis and the Void build doesn't understand how Volibear works. That's my opinion. I don't think that build has really any merit. This build has always been my tried and true and been very, very overpowered once you get like 3 to 4 items.
Yeah, and then going along with that, how bad were you sweating when you're hitting those W heals? At those last couple fights. Oh my gosh, I thought Smolder had you for sure a couple
Yeah,
times.
I thought Smolder had me. I got my E shield. I got the W off, and once my W hit and landed, I was like, okay, I'm good. But in the cast animation, I was waiting to get executed and just absolutely killed.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Kamiko, what do you got for Zero here?
All right, so yeah, main thing is when did you start to feel like you guys were did you ever have a point where you were like, oh, we got this one in the bag, or did like to the end were you like questioning if they were like gonna be coming back on you guys?
I think to be honest, after my ADC stole the Drake, I kind of knew we were in a very good spot because we had pressure all across the map, and we got the Drake. We won the Drake fight, and everything kind of snowballs from there. I was able to take their camps again. We got turrets from that, I believe, and everything was just going in our favor at that point onwards.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. That was for me. I felt like it was starting to be in the bag when you had that moment you talked about where Smolder probably was going to execute you, but you got that shield into heal off. Just
Yeah.
much. That was sort of like the moment for me where I felt like, oh yeah, they're probably going to win. But yeah. So tell me a little bit more about like aside from just this game in general, what's sort of like the dynamic of the team? What's it like to be playing with these guys?
I mean, so everyone except for me and my top laner are all new to each other. So this is like our first season playing competitive together. So we're kind of going through it, all the learning curves together. But it's really enjoyable. I mean, everyone's like has the attitude to improve and want to play better and just get more synergy as a team. So I mean, everyone's really fun to play with.
That's cool. Do you
Yeah,
guys
for
ever
sure.
like do anything like outside of league, like fun stuff together?
So we went to have like a team lunch, like I think our first or second week of playing. Um, but not really outside of league other than that, really.
That's
We
fair.
sort of
That's
just hop on and we scrim, we play matches.
I mean, yeah, that's very League of Legend player. So that makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense.
I do not go outside.
Yeah, me neither, dude. I totally feel you on that. But yeah, last thing I like to do at these interviews is just give you an opportunity to like say anything you basically want to, like within reason. Don't get us like banned off Twitch or nothing. But like, is there anything you want to say? Call outs, shout outs, anything?
I mean, I think shout out to my team. We had a rough couple of, like last couple of weeks of matches, but we're all able to pull it together and keep grinding and keep playing well. So that's good. Um, yeah, I'm not sure what else to say.
Fair
Yeah.
enough, dude. But yeah, that's all the questions I have. Jeb, anything else for you?
Um, I mean, first win for you guys, right?
Yeah,
So it
hopefully
feels
more to
good.
come. Yeah,
Feels
it
good,
does.
right? Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
That's good. Um, but no, I think that about covers it. Thank you so much for talking with us.
it's a pleasure to be interviewed.
Yeah, for sure. Alrighty. Well, if nobody has anything else for the match tonight, well, Kamika, you have any last words for us?
I've got absolutely none. I think the game really spoke for itself, and Zero gave us a lot of good insights here as well for anything we may have missed. But yeah, just one last thing I'll say is make sure you guys give a follow to our gracious hosts on your way out. It was a really fun time, and I always appreciate being brought on. I think this is like my second time, and it's always a really, really fun time getting to see some of the collegiate players play, especially for this league. Jeb, anything you got to say in closing?
Yeah, that sums it up for me. What you just said. So.
Fair enough. In that case, guys, we'll see you all in the next NJCAA game. We'll see you then.
There you go.